She cheated with my best friend, and she lost everything. Part 4 of 4. I didn't post about any of it. Not the certification, not the new job, not the new apartment I moved into 4 months later. 2 bedrooms, natural light, a view that wasn't a brick wall, a reading chair, a proper bed frame, the cast iron pan, a plant Marcus gave me that was, against all reasonable expectation, still alive. I was building a life on purpose, one decision at a time. My mother's words, my notebook, my plan, no audience required. You made it this far. Most people don't. You're not most people. Subscribe right now. And tell me in the comments, are you the Ryan in your story right now? Or have you already made it to the other side? I read every single one. Marcus called me on a Saturday morning in April, 14 months after the night on Meridian. I was in my reading chair reviewing a quarterly report for a presentation on Monday. He said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Marcus, I am always sitting down when I'm at home. Why would I be?" He said, "Derek cheated on Ashley." I put my pen down. I did not feel what I expected to feel. Not satisfaction. Something quieter and more complicated. I asked for the details, not because I needed them, but because not asking felt like performing indifference, and I was done performing anything. Derek had been seeing a woman named Cassandra, someone from their own friend group, someone Ashley had trusted, someone who had been in her home for about 4 months. Ashley found out the same way I did. Came home unexpectedly. Different apartment. Same architecture of betrayal. Same shoes by the door that weren't supposed to be there. The fallout was public. Ashley posted, deleted, posted again, went private, came back with a long caption about trust and healing that didn't name Derek, but named him completely. Derek posted nothing, which the internet correctly read as the behavior of someone who knew he was wrong. The friend group that had sorted itself in their favor now resorted with the frantic energy of people who had bet on the wrong horse and were trying to quietly back away. Ashley lost the apartment. It had been in both their names by then, which I found grimly symmetrical. She moved back into her parents' house in Gahanna at 28 years old. Her childhood bedroom, her old furniture. Derek moved into a studio. Posted a gym selfie 11 days later with the caption, "Focusing on growth." Marcus sent it to me as a screenshot with no comment. I looked at it for 3 seconds and went back to my quarterly report. What I realized, sitting with the full picture, was that Ashley and Derek had not built something. They had taken something. And there is a real difference between those two things. What you take doesn't become yours. It just becomes something you're holding, and eventually holding it gets heavy, and eventually you set it down or it falls. They had taken my trust, my relationship, my belief in my best friend, my savings, my apartment, my plan. In exchange, they had gotten 14 months, a studio apartment, and a gym selfie. I looked around at my reading chair, my plant, my notebook, my life. I had built every single piece of it, with my own hands, my own choices, my own 5:30 a.m. mornings, whether I felt like it or not. Nobody could take any of it, because it was mine. 3 weeks after Marcus's call, a voicemail came in from an unknown number while I was cooking. Pasta, the cast iron pan, garlic and olive oil. I almost deleted it without listening. Something made me tap play. I kept stirring while I listened. It was Ashley. I knew her voice in the first 2 seconds. She said she knew I probably wouldn't call back. Said she wasn't asking for anything. Then she was quiet for a moment. I could hear her breathing, the faint sound of traffic, like she was calling from outside, and she said, "I spent a long time being angry at you for walking away so quietly. Like you should have fought harder." And then I was angry at Derek. And then I ran out of people to be angry at, and I had to sit with myself. And sitting with myself was the hardest thing I've ever done. She said she had told herself a story about our relationship that wasn't true. A story where she was settling, where something was missing, where what she and Derek had was inevitable. She understood now that story was a lie she needed to believe to do what she wanted to do. She said I had been a good man. She said she had hurt me to get something she didn't keep. She wasn't calling to reopen anything or ask for a second chance. She was calling because she owed me the truth with nothing asked in return. The voicemail was 4 minutes and 12 seconds long. I listened to it twice while the garlic went slightly past where I wanted it. I called her back. She picked up on the first ring. I said, I heard your message. I appreciate what you said, and I believe you meant it. I forgive you, Ashley. Fully. Not because what happened was okay. It wasn't. But because carrying that costs more than it's worth, and I decided a long time ago I wasn't going to pay that price. I hope you find your way to something real. I genuinely do. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Are you happy? I looked at my apartment, my plant, my cast iron pan. I said, I really am. She said goodbye. I said goodbye. I hung up and finished making my pasta and ate at the table by the window with my notebook open beside me. Not writing, just open, the way it always is when I'm thinking. I thought about my mother and building things on purpose. About the tulips and the florist and the woman who said lucky girl. About the 4th grade and a stolen library book and a note folded back up carefully and handed to me by the only friend I thought I'd ever need. About the corduroy couch and the water bottle at 3 in the morning. About 5:30 a.m. and chapter 17 and the charcoal suit and Patrick Osei writing something down. Some people will tell you the best revenge is living well. I would tell you something different. The best revenge is realizing one quiet Tuesday evening over pasta in an apartment you chose and filled with things you love, that what you're living isn't revenge at all. It's just your life, the one you built, while they weren't looking. It doesn't need a caption. It doesn't need a witness. It just needs to be real. And if that's where you're headed, I'll see you at the top. Stay cold. If this story hit you somewhere real, leave a comment. Tell me where you are in it right now. Are you still standing in the kitchen with the tulips? Are you on the couch? Are you at the certification? Tell me. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why are you still testing me? Hit the button. You've been here from the beginning. You're family now. Stay cold.